You're watching Masters in Trading Live with Jonathan Rose.
Hey everybody, let me center myself. It's Jonathan Rose. I want to introduce you to my friend here. This is Mercury. I had to give him a little cheese. I'm not sure you could see him, but Mercury wanted to peek his head out. You know what he hates? When I do this to him. Hi! You say hi to everybody? All right. That's his 5 minutes of fame, guys. Hello, Jonathan Rose, and welcome to Masters in Trading Live. At Masters in Trading Live, we get on here each day the market's open, go over the market, share some trades, and once in a while we'll share our trade of the day. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to search for our advanced notice unusual options activity trades live. I've got the chat up. Hello everybody. We were chatting since 10 minutes before we hopped on. And now let's go to the screen. Hey, hello. Okay, so I've got the chat up, which is going to be right here. Put the chat to the side. And I just want to go over some unusual options activity names. So, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here is Masters in Trading. Go under Services. And these are for those that are our members. And then we have our advanced notice. We have our earnings, our divergence, short-term options. We're going to go to advanced notice here. And in our advanced notice, this is the tool that we use each day. And so this just updated at 9:36 a.m. Central Time, 10:36. So it just updated 24 minutes ago. This was from last night coming into today. So what I did, hey John, thanks for joining. What I did is we're going to look at the unusual option activity names, but then I also put them in a watch list right here. Once I find that watch list. M10, that's not it. Week ahead, there you are. So here, I put these names into a watch list. So GEO, AAOI is here, CORS is going to be here, ARVN is going to be here, EOS is right here. Okay, everyone following along with what I'm doing? We have our unusual option activity names. These names pop up on our advanced notice tool because they are seeing the most unusual options behavior. What's unusual options? Well, we have an algorithm that's processing data, and we are looking for unusual trades, unusual option trades, mostly relative to a company's market cap. So we want to see like a $1 million trade or a $2 million trade, but we don't want to see that on a $1 trillion company like Apple. We want to see that on a smaller company, potentially like GEO or AAOI. A couple of things to notice about these names. Here are the top 12 names I just listed out. Look at the implied volatility of these names. The implied volatility of these names go from 45% on the low end to 160% on the high end. Overall, these names are elevated. There is something going on, and that's the reason why the implied volatility is elevated. You'll also notice the market cap of these names. The market cap, coincidentally, today, all of the names happen to be between 1 billion market cap and about a $6 billion market cap. Why? Because that's really the sweet spot of the names that we're looking for. Because if we see a trade like GEO, go ahead, you can click on GEO right here, and that'll open up the trades. January 28th, the big trades in GEO. It looks like these March 30 calls, March 36 calls, January 50 calls going out to 2026. So then let's look at Geo. Now, just because Geo is on there, that doesn't mean that Geo is just a no-brainer trade just to slap on. We have to do a little bit of digging. So now we'll look at Geo. And we're going to find that unusual options activity. We're going to find it. Let's go in March. And let's track down this unusual options activity. The 30 strikes, 30 calls, 18,000 of them open interest. I don't know exactly how many traded yesterday. It sounds like most of these might actually be from yesterday. So we have the 30 calls, then we have the 36 calls. Most likely they bought these and sold these is my guess. But now let's go and look at Geo. I have Geo here. Let me pull up another chart, because what am I going to do now? Now I'm going to go into a 1 minute chart of Geo, because that trade was done yesterday. I don't want to move these around too much and confuse you guys, but so that trade was done yesterday it started at 9 o'clock. So now I'm just going to let's look at 3 days, 1 minute, just so we can get the data on here. And here's Monday. But what we should notice is Tuesday, it looks like on the opening is right here, 8:30, right on the opening, but it was 8:59. So we have 8:30, 8:50, there we go. 8:58 is right here. Okay, so there's these option trades. 8:58, 9:02, and now they just did them throughout the day. 10:04, keep buying throughout the day. My guess is this is a bullish trade. We have the bullish right after it sells off the rest of the day and then is nice and strong throughout the day. So I would expect that this is just someone doing a trade in Geo, a bullish trade in Geo. Also interesting to note, and I'm going to stay on Geo right now, is I want to look at those Januaries too, because those Januaries going out to 2026, that's a long time. That's a lot of premium. Holy shit. That's a big trade. 35s. Wow. Interesting. So that is at 9:24 yesterday when Geo got hit. So somebody is making a pretty significant bet on Geo. And by the way, common sense, it kind of makes sense to me. It's a REIT. Why not? Not a bad trade. 352 days. I don't mind that trade. Does anybody have any questions on that? Does that make sense? I'm just pulling up the chat here. Can I just get a bunch of yeses? I want to go over another one of these names, but I just want to make sure in this format you guys can follow along. Usually I go to the PowerPoint, but I wanted to open this up and go over these names. Sweet. Is there a name that you guys would prefer to go over on this list? I'll go over the first name that someone puts up on the list. I'd like to go over one of the unusual options activity names just so I can show you guys what these look like. We have Geo, Wolf. Wolf, so I don't see Wolf on here. So I'm going to go with Adams. Okay, we're going to go with Arvin. Arvinas. I've never heard of Arvin, which is usually a good sign for these. So we would click it. January 28th, 10:02. So how about, let's go in reverse order this time. We're going to go in reverse order in this time. And what do I mean by that? Well, ARVN, how about instead of looking at the options, let's look at the behavior of the stock. Because right away, if the stock doesn't move at the timestamp of the trade, it's not important. It's just not. I'm also guessing that liquidity might be a problem because look how this ARVN is trading. So that's my initial thought, that we might have options liquidity problems. I don't want to check that until I check the timestamp of the trade. So same thing that we just did, 10:02. It looks like the bulk of these may be right here. Times are pretty sporadic, right? Kind of all over the time. 10. This is 11:30, 10:43, 10:09. Now with Arvin, what I don't like is I don't see like a really big move. I see like a lot of just kind of back and forth, back and forth. Let's check the liquidity in the options. I'm guessing it doesn't have great liquidity. It doesn't have great liquidity. So for ARVN, because I don't see a big move after that unusual option activity, then I would just pass on the trade. Okay? So illiquidity is a problem. Only 232,000 shares trade. Do you have the quantity from the TNS log? Sometimes you can get the quantity, but most often those trades are broken up. So we have 2,000 here, but that doesn't mean 2,000, but look at all the 12.5 puts. I want to go over another name because ARVN was kind of lame. Just that it didn't have a lot of action. This might be interesting, guys. Here's a name that we've been following. NVEX has been really strong lately. It traded down to 7. It recently traded back up to 12. And it is a name that I'm following. These trades January 29th, 10:08. So literally these happened 5 minutes ago. Okay, so this will be an excellent one to look at. ENVX trade just happened. Oh, actually, it didn't. Oh, last updated, I'm sorry. It was last updated 10:08, and these trades right from the opening. These are strong. These are so this is buying. They are buying these right on the opening. After the stock sells off, that's fine. The reason the stock rallies is because if they're buying calls, somebody is selling calls. Whoever sells calls gets short deltas. They have to buy stock. That makes the stock go higher. But if we look at ENVX going out to July, this is a cool trade. This is a cool trade. Here, let me write this one down for you guys. I think this might be of interest. We're going to organize a little bit. This is a cool trade. Cool trade incoming. NVEX. I don't love that. Okay, so NVEX. Here's what she looks like. Okay, when offered, now 790, and now it's trading 12. I have a difficult time buying anything at 790 that rallies to 12 and they're just getting long. But what they are doing, and I'm going to pull up my pen here. So it looks like they're in July, 170 days, and the 12th strike for 310, and the 20 strike, say for $1.10. Okay, strike. And so it's a $2 trade, 200 risk. And the most that you can make is going to be 8 minus 2. So $600 reward, 200 of risk if the stock gets over 20 in 170 days. So that's what they're doing in this unusual option activity trade. Not a bad trade at all. Lots of speculation on NVIX rallying and being strong. There's nice skew up here. There's nice premium in these options. So that gives you an idea of what was that big order. And that's what we do. We want to follow these big unusual options activity trades. This one went a little bit longer than usual. Hopefully that was cool. Yeah, and as Chris says, always default to the 1 minute chart in order to interpret that unusual option activity. Let me leave you with this, guys. We have a community. In that community, we are in there every single day talking with one another. So if you like these ideas, if you want to reach out and be part of the community, just leave a note in the chat. Chris Waters in there, and we'll be more than willing to help. For everybody in our All Access, you guys hang out. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. Hey, All Access, how you guys doing?